Welcome on in, sinners. Do make yourselves comfortable. Look, I'll be frank, this is a little below my pay grade, but powers that be have asked for me to enlighten you on this fair city and a number of important details about said city. And there's a lot to take in, I'm sure, and apparently you know absolutely nothing. Marvellous. I can mould you like clay. But in all seriousness, I need to mould you to be a good sinner. Or attempt to be, at least. Now, let's start off with that phrase, sinner. What does that mean? Because I've been calling you that since the moment you walked through my door. Into my office. Just don't make any mess, by the way, or I will hunt you down. Well, sinner refers to the general populace. You're all sinners. Because, by the words of our Maker, you're all sinners from the day you are born, until the day you find enlightenment, or die trying. It's a long passed down thing, but it is the idea that all mortal creatures with sentience are capable of doing wrong, and with their free will choose to. And such, you have the original sin, passed down from father to son, from mother to daughter, so on and so forth. So that's the little thing. Hence why you're sinners. You're no longer a sinner if you become a venerated clergy, or maybe, just maybe, you're picked to be a being like me, an angel. Just make sure you don't get branded a heretic, okay? That's a fast way to the chopping block. Or hell. So with that first little bit, you can probably gather this city is fairly devout. And, Maker be damned, I'm going to force it into your head if needed, that we're not like other places of faith. You will not hear other religious monikers, maybe similarities, but you'll hear a being called the Maker. And I will get into them, their tenets, their everything, later, but all you need to know for now is the Maker is the religious sort of head, if you will. Think of like a god. Though, unlike other divines, this one, there is some historical record of them walking among us. Of them standing side by side, mortal beings, and helping to craft the new age. I will get into all this later, because it would probably be a bit disorganised if I was to do it now. But all you need to know is that on Thursdays, it is the Holy Sermon Day. Do make sure to attend because, well, let's just say once, okay, twice, questionable, 3 times? 3 times someone's going to look into it, and I'll be honest with you, quite often heretic is what they get branded after 3, unless they're unwell, which, don't worry, if you're in hospital for any reason, you will be attended to by an on-site priest. Don't you worry about that. We think about our sick. Unless you're sick in the ghetto, of course, then, you know, you might have to drag yourself to a church. But don't worry, there are on-site medical personnel there too. And armed guards. So don't try anything funny. And do leave your weapons outside. Yes, there are weapons on the street. Technically not legal, but I'll be honest with you, it's not enforced in the more rougher neighbourhoods. There is at least a little understanding that law enforcement might not be able to get to you in time. So, why not leave you with a few rocks to hit each other with? It'll at least be a bit more easier for you to survive, maybe. Just, you know, don't have the gun drawn when the powers that be pull up, because anyone holding a weapon will be shot in that instance. But if you're in the nicer parts of the city, that doesn't happen. Most of the time. Except maybe most of the time. Just stay out of the alleyways, stay in the light. Maybe just go to sleep rather than stay out at night. Because, well, that's a better option for you, I would say. Now, it's a fairly standard city in many respects. I mean, your access to medical treatments from genetic alteration to various physical alterations, cybernetic alterations, and even some things regarding the soul. That's not quite as readily available, by the way, but the other two very much are. If you were to lose a hand in the street and have the funds, an on-site mobile clinic could be provided for you, and that hand regrown in a matter of moments. Well, it'll start as a small hand and then it'll grow properly. Or if you don't have the funds, a mechanical one will be rammed right in there, ready to go within an hour. Isn't that great? And if you have the funds, maybe you can feel through that hand. If you want it to actually do more than just be a hand, then that operation's a bit more intensive. Because we can do things like make it able to interface directly with a computer system. Yes, if you end up with an office job, you may be offered workplace augmentation. Basically, we put a little port in your head that you can plug in, and you can just sit there and gorm out for a while you plug into a computer, and you allow your brain cells to be used as processing power. Don't worry if you're a bit slow, though. It's okay. It's okay, Sinner. We have extra brains we can plug into you as well. So don't worry if you think your brain isn't fast enough. We can make it fast enough with auxiliary brains. If you can afford them. They're very expensive, those are. Do you know how much it costs to grow a brain? A lot. A lot. Now, your day-to-day is probably going to be going through our fair streets, giving praise to the Maker, and doing your job. Most likely. We generally promote short working days, but efficient working days. Mostly because you need time to, give your time to the church, of course, so on average, most working days are probably going to be somewhere like, I don't know, 6 hours, 7 hours tops, with 3 hours dedicated to faith, of course. Very important, that. Those who can afford free time, well, best do so faithfully, lest you get seen as a bit more heretical. But don't worry, you can pay to be confessed and forgiven in just a small booth, where our automated confessionary system will help you through enlightenment. Or if you can actually afford it, a real priest. But, their time is expensive. What's that, you want to join the clergy, perhaps? Well, that's a whole process, and you will have to go through a very lengthy process to be allowed even to work as a menial, let alone a clergy. We'll cover that whole side of things another time, but if you're interested in that, then join me for that session. I'll run you through the basics and the line of succession, all the way to the High Pope himself. Though, if you somehow get there, then you are a devout soul indeed. I somewhat doubt you'll get there, though, personally. We'll see, though. We'll see. Now, as for the rest of you, all the kinds of amenities you'd expect in a good city like this are available. Fast food, should you not have time to cook. Things like, the regular brands, all the ones that are anointed and blessed by the church, of course. I do hope, though, that you don't intend on trying to sue any of those brands for any reason. Let's just say that is considered very sinful to besmirch the name of a wholly recognised corporation. Indeed. If you don't love it, Well, I've got bad news for you there. You're gonna have to. I suppose you could go organic. Most organic food is priced accordingly, at about 10 times the price of the processed type. But don't worry. The Church of the Maker encourages healthy living. Which is why if we believe you're engaging in sloth or gluttony, you will be punished severely. But it's okay. Some sins are forgivable. We occasionally forgive the sin of lust if it made a child. Now, yes, you'll have to pay for that child, but listen, increasing population's important. The more sinners, the more hands to work. We have a good amount of supply coming in, so we can generally afford to have more of you lot around. Though, if we think you're being a bit too lustful, there are ways of dealing with that too. Most people just plug themselves into a VR machine, I'll be honest, just do that. That one at least isn't illegal, yet. It's a grey area. Now, speaking of things like that, yes, VR is completely available, not too expensive, and yes, you can plug yourself directly into it, so you can be the weirdo on VR chat you really want to be. And you feel everything. Now, the net is somewhat monitored, just bear in mind, so don't go looking up controversial priests, okay? If the clergy are found in any way of, shall we say, being injunctioned to their duties, well, that is dealt with internally, and a sinner need not worry about such things. Just as much as any official anointed by the church is dealt with by the church, so don't you worry about that, sinner. You just keep being a holy citizen and continue your day-to-day. Public transport's even free. Imagine that, it's completely free and always on time. Complaints about it being late, of course, are fined, of course. Unless it's actually true. Which it never is, of course. But we have a few options for that. There are the regular buses, trains, some aerial methods, and, very recently, the maglev system. Like a train, except it can navigate through the air via maglev rails. It's all by magnets. You should be thankful, sinner. Back in the day, they used to have chemical engines. That failed regularly. So we upgraded those to pulse engines. Far more efficient. You know? They might require soul power, but listen, they're very good. Not as good as mine, of course. My flight is, of course, superior, but, you know, not everyone can have a lovely Aurora engine like me. Oh, did I mention Aurora engine? Ah. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll do a whole session on what I am. But all you need to know is most angels are built, not born. You have to earn the right, or be chosen. And then you're built. Like me. So don't worry, sinner. I may seem unattainable, and that is because I am. Because you can't be like me, you have to be built like me. From the ground up. But it's okay. Because you can improve yourself, and maybe, one day, earn the option of going to heaven. That's right. You can be plugged in to the Godnet and ascend to heaven. Admittedly, you're also powering the server as well, but listen, we're in paradise forever. Your body may or may not be harvested for its organs and everything else, but your consciousness is already gone, your soul plucked out, and you're just kind of meat on a platter and any augmetics you have at that point. And we do promote recycling, you know. The environment is not doing very well at the moment, so we like to keep things efficient. Just because it's a complete hellscape out there doesn't mean we can't make things better. Which reminds me, be careful leaving the outer walls of the city. I cannot guarantee your safety, nor do I intend to go out there myself. I can, and do, sometimes. But I'm not responsible for what happens out there. Neither is the church. You have been warned, just bear that in mind. Now then, the last couple of things to go into. Most housing here is apartments. Yes, I know that kind of sucks, but listen, most of you couldn't afford a house anyway, so be thankful we supply apartments. And yes, you will get an apartment. The little background check, and nothing else. You don't even have to drop a deposit. However, if in 2 months' time you are not proven to be working, you will have your apartment revoked. Then you gotta go find somewhere else. You get one chance. Then you have to buy one. And the starting price is about... I think the regional equivalent would be $100,000. We don't do mortgages here. So, good luck. But don't worry. If you're a devout member, perhaps you may join the clergy and be given a church-appointed house. If you're really lucky, maybe even a penthouse suite. The clergy live well. Do I live well? Very. I get to live in the really high towers. You don't see them from here. This is my workspace. I get to go to a really, really high tower where I get to relax. That is only for angels, though. Also, there's no... Well, there is atmosphere, but I'll be honest with you, you're going to struggle to breathe. Our support staff generally come in with a mask on their face because the pressure would probably kill them. We normally go lower for them so they can actually, help maintain our divine selves. Maybe you may even be given that opportunity. Imagine that. You get to work with angels daily. I'll be honest, I wouldn't recommend it. We're terrible people. We're terrible. But you didn't hear that from me. And if you were to say that publicly, good luck. Hell. You would go straight to hell, so don't do that. Don't get me wrong, you are free to speak about many things. There's just a long list of things you can't discuss publicly. Unless it's to a priest, after you've signed a few things stating that if the priest deems that you are a threat to the church, the faith, you may be put to hell. For at least 24 hours. For you, it'll feel like 10 years, I'll be completely honest. I've seen it. It kind of sucks. And it's customised just for you, by the way. Yes, without going into too much detail on the makeup of the hellscape, Hell OS is completely autonomized, and the AI is built to maximise your suffering. It is customised to you, and the demons it manifests via generative AI are all there to torment you in a unique fashion. Just don't make any deals with them if you do go to hell, because most of them want to leave hell through your body. If they do, listen, you're kind of stuck there. That is your own fault. You have to willingly let them. Sometimes they can break out, but listen, that's different, and you have to prove it. 9 times out of 10, it's because you made a deal with them, and now they're out and about with your body. And they will probably augment it, because it'll bore them. Yes, they can augment their bodies far more than you can handle. And no, you can't have your body back after we've exorcised them. An exorcism generally involves a bullet, or a blade, or other means, as well as a slight purge of Hell OS for any other rogue systems. It happens. But it also doesn't happen too much. Plus it helps keep you all in line because, well, if you're worried about losing your body, just don't sin. Don't commit any sins, okay? Then you'll be okay. Then you'll be fine. Okay? Good. Now then. a few last little details you should be aware of. You'll be glad to know that there is no insurance here. At all. Which means you don't have to pay it. But we also don't have to pay you for your injuries. You've got to cover that yourself. Healthcare is not free, except for the powerful, like the church, or if you have been deemed a saint, which none of you will get that opportunity, I'll be honest with you. But don't worry, it's pretty affordable. Normally you're going to be taking a loan out, I'll be honest. But it's fine, listen. The things we can do here are far better than other places. And who knows? You may have a horrific disease that you walk into the clinic for, and they cure in an hour. The bill will probably set you back the rest of your life, but hey, you're not suffering anymore. Physically. You're suffering financially instead. I'd say that is a good thing. Maybe. I don't know. But hey. Now, other than that little detail, I should probably mention law enforcement real quick. Brief mention, but don't upset them. They are stressed as it is at the moment, and they don't do soft touches. That's all I'm going to say on the matter. Do maybe give them a wave, give them a blessing. They appreciate that. Now, I believe that's enough details for now, sinners. Hopefully I've kept you on track, and hopefully I've kept myself on track throughout this. Though, if there are any questions, concerns, don't waste my time with those. Seriously, don't waste my time with those. But questions? Think about this for our next session, and I will look to answer them. I, of course, have recorded this because I appreciate that your unaugmented minds will not remember all this, and that's okay. Because, well, I was also told to record it, but listen. I'm going to say I did it out of benevolence, and you're going to believe me, aren't you? Now then, I think that should be all. I will see you next time for our next session. I'm debating what that one should be, so if there's anything that I've said that you think, could you elaborate please? I might acquiesce. I will do a video regarding law enforcement, regarding hell, heaven, the 3 pillars of the Maker, and the general faith of the Maker. As well as a few more nitty-gritty bits. Maybe I'll even tell you about what I am at some point. In detail. But that'll be an optional bit, for those who are really interested. Now then, sinners, that's all I have time for. I have things I need to sort today, so I will let you go as well. Your apartments should be down the road. Yes, quite far down the road. Just take the maglev, it's quicker. I know you can't afford a vehicle right now, you've just moved. And don't leave any mess in my office. I will know. I will check the cameras. I will find you. So don't do it. Now, that's all for today. So to tar sinners, and please, do me a favour. Get the hell out of my office. If you've liked today's video, well, thank you very much. I do hope you've enjoyed this new style of series I'm trying. A bit more in character, a bit more different than usual. So I hope that this has been entertaining for you. Hopefully I've not gone too quickly and just gone all over the place. And fingers crossed I have managed to make it an entertaining lore video. But if you've enjoyed, please do feel free to leave a like. That would be very appreciated. Maybe if I may be so bold. I think you could subscribe to me. Over here on YouTube, it's completely free to do so. And it would benefit myself a lot, and it would mean you would know when I am uploading. In case you're unaware, there's also a Discord server. Should be all in my links on the channel page. And we do go live on Twitch very regularly. In fact, this week I'm recording this, we're going to be doing a bit of a Space Marine 2, well, 1, take it before Space Marine 2 comes out. So, if that sounds interesting to you, then let me know. But, my dearest sinners, that's all for now. Hope you've enjoyed yourselves, and I'll see you next time. Ta-ta for now.